Oh, I started this video before I got my coffee. Oh, maybe while I wait for it to populate, we can go upstairs and have a cup of coffee. Let's do that. While I'm waiting for people to join, let's run up the stairs and get some coffee. Also, my internet connectivity has been really finicky today, so I'm gonna mess with that right now and see if we can get the internet connectivity to be a little. There goes that internet connectivity. All right, so we're brewing us up a fine pot here. See the beautiful amber hue of the top of that pot. Hopefully I'll get it cleaned off. I'm doing things a little different today because we're going to do a reaction video. It's an 11-minute video clip from the 9 Club. And I feel that it is worth. It was sent to me by someone who watches closely what I do and is very smart at sales. And it is an interview with a salesperson. This person is a sales expert, 100% through and through. And they're speaking on behalf of the mainstream industry. So we're gonna go down the stairs. You guys ever wonder about that? That's one of my favorite things. It was my first time shooting a 45 ACP. And I did good that day. So nobody's on here yet. Not surprised, it's in the middle of a work day. Most people who I hang out with are working people. Good, salt of the earth, working folks. So I have no problem if we don't populate quickly because it's the nature of the beast when people are just good, solid folks. So I'm getting this clipped in, getting it put up. We're gonna watch and listen to a man named Heath Brinkley, who is one of the big wiggity high muckety mucks over in the mainstream industry of skateboarding. And Heath is going to break down to you a theme from the mainstream perspective that I've been breaking down for years. And someone hit me up and they were like, man, this guy is talking about what you've been saying for years here. And let's listen to what Heath has to say. Remember, folks, I'm coming at this from the position of a person who my life's work has been in creating a valuable skateboard brand that has one production, one quality. It's a low yield thing. And those of you who don't know what I'm all about, go to www.lifeskateboard.com and see my work. Sam Cook and I have joined forces, and you can see the culmination of years of, I got to do this a little bit here. We don't want to be, okay, good. So here, let's get into Heath Brinkley. Internet always cutting out. Here he is.
No wiggle room with boards.
No wiggle room.
What people don't realize is like boards are so expensive because there's never been a price increase on boards in shops.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing. Like inflation's existed everywhere else on the planet except in skate shops.
Yeah.
Okay, Heath is cutting right to it. He's saying, boards are so expensive because there's never been a price increase in shops. Well, here's an industry guy acting like this is some mystery. Let me just break it down. I don't know if he's about to say it, but MSRP in every single other industry, skis, snowboards, everything. If a shop undercuts MSRP, they lose their account. Skateboarding never had MSRP. Nobody ever lost their account for opening shop. And shop boards, oh my, let's see.
It's true.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. I said earlier, my first board cost me $65.
Yeah.
You go into a shop and now it's like $50 to $55.
Yeah, right.
I think that if shops are worried about their margins and like how to keep shop doors open and all that, and like that's truly a thing, you know, like just as a brand, I'm not getting rich off of skateboards.
I just want to say the number of shops over the many years I've been working in skate who whine about keeping the doors open and paying the rent on their shop while they charge ridiculously low prices, not just on boards, but on trucks, on wheels, on bearings, on risers, on hardware, on and on and on. And why? There is an answer. But I want to get back to Heath Brinkley.
I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Like, I can break down to the penny where all like any money I make on that board, like from like the overall cost of the board, the royalty that I pay the guy to
paying the artist,
paying my product developer, paying my production team, paying my warehouse, everything, like every ounce of money is eaten up in that board.
Yeah. Wow.
You know, it's not to say that we don't do well. We do.
Right.
But skateboards aren't making us rich.
They do well, but only they only can do well on volume, and that pressure, the volume pressure on skateboard production, directly impacts the value of that skateboard to the user. The user winds up having to be the last thing in their mind as they're going with 5, 6 minute, 7 minute, 10-minute glues. They're going with high production. They're going with foreign sourcing. Yada 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 yada. It goes on and on.
Yeah.
I can tell you that. You know.
What is coffee mugs?
100%. But
No.
you know, I think that I don't know. Like, I think people don't like talking about like raising prices.
I love talking about raising prices. I love talking about raising prices, but only if we're also willing to talk about ethical sourcing, only if we're willing to talk about ethical business structures, only if we're willing to talk about ultimate value for the rider. I don't care if a board costs $10. Those junk boards are worth about $10. But creating a premium quality product, Life Skateboards and Johnny Manak and Gluefoot, Provaznik, and Voluptuous Tie, we're not ashamed to charge $75, $80, $85, $90, even $100 something for quality custom work. Not ashamed at all. No problem. No quarter. No zero F's given. But these guys are still, we don't like to talk about raising prices. Well, talk about it. He will. He's not one of those guys.
Yeah.
Or is he?
And again, I don't want to gouge any customers.
Right.
But the problem is like you're getting to a point where the manufacturer. I had three price increases last year.
Oh wow.
From my manufacturer, not because they're gouging us. They're like, dude, like we have to do this.
Yeah.
I didn't raise the price on my boards.
Is that Mark?
Why not? Why didn't you raise your prices on your boards? Well, one reason is because people feel like they're being gouged. Did you hear how many times they said the word gouge, gouging, gouging? Let me tell you why. Because spending $75 for a board that's going to last 2 weeks is outrageous. When the same exact laminate quality is available under the Shop brand for $45 and will continue to be because shops have keystone margins on the Shop branded skateboard wood. Plus, they have an advertising dividend for every single plank of Shop wood that goes out. Their shop is being advertised. It's insane what Shop boards do to the mass production. The mass production brands are absolutely on the ropes because the wood houses opened accounts for Shop boards. And they act like there was nothing they could do about it. Well, there's nothing we can do about it now because a time machine doesn't exist. But back then, being business people making business decisions would have been a start. But we weren't businessmen. We were a bunch of shaved babies, squishy little baby men walking around doing flippy tricks, thinking we ran the world because we were making thousands of dollars a month on our pro board. So we said, well, we'll run the companies, and we never made business decisions. I'm critical.
So yeah.
But what am I gonna do? Like and that's not just me. I'm not the only one.
But why was their price going up?
Cost of labor, cost of goods.
Yeah.
And that was probably with every brand. It's probably
It's called
Yeah.
inflation year over. I'm predicting I'm gonna have at least a couple more this year.
Right.
Okay, that's Raj asking that question. Raj has been in the industry for like decades. These guys, no, wait, was it Raj? Oh, it's the other guy. I don't know. But that's a 9 Club guy. These guys have been in the industry for absolute decades. And they don't have the wherewithal while listening to this guy to understand it's not just inflation, man. It's not just inflation. It's not Fine. It's inflation. Fine. That's fine. It's inflation. But look at how unprepared these guys are to even begin a discussion on this. And that's the real story. The real story is decades of skateboard industry leadership that has been completely checked out, and decades of industry retail that's pretended they're the Pope and the mayor of your city and pretended it's for the good of the kids that we keep those prices low as long as they had the shoe margins. I have a shop here that made so much on Nike during 2005, 6, 7, and 8 that they bought their building and they had literally $1 million years on Nike. 2005, 6, 7, 8. 2010, 12, I started telling shops, Nike's going to drop you soon. And they were like, no, they won't. They never will. Sure did. They'd already sold Converse. They'd already bought Converse. And anyway, dialing out. Let's go. We got 11 minutes of this.
They raise your rent here, you know. And,
Year over year, inflation goes up. And it's like, and I get it. Like, here's the thing. My theory is that had shops raised their prices slowly, year over year, you wouldn't think twice right now to spend $80 on a skateboard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And I say that because if you think about it, in Europe,
But your skateboard would still only last you for a week or two of ripping. And when you stomped on it, the first free flip and your nose broke off and you walked in, you'd get the same should have landed at bolts that you get now. Here's the problem. $80 is a good price for a skateboard deck, but it's not a good price for a skateboard deck that won't last you for 3 months. Oh, then the Dr. Schmidt comes in and tells you it's impossible to make a board that'll last 3 months. No, it's not impossible. It just takes a different business model. These guys are on the California business model that's big money, big investors, ROI, having to make profit on investment. Enter the lowly craft person, and we're sitting here and we're like, dude, we're making boards that last that are worth $100 a plank easy. They're worth it for what you say. We've done the equation publicly, privately. We've done it. We've done the math on napkin about this again and again. And what the craft makers are offering is so superior to the mainstream factory-made stuff. I would be surprised if we didn't wind up with a hit put out on us. Oh, that already happened.
for an American brand,
$100.
yeah, they're easily, there's kids paying for that.
Yeah.
But it's not about gouging the customer. It's not a
Gouging. These guys are so afraid someone's going to say they're gouging people.
end of the day, you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You're not going to do that. That's not what's happening. It's not even close to what's happening. I can't understand why these guys are so afraid of being accused of gouging people. Man, any person that doesn't have... First of all, you are gouging if you're selling a piece of crap piece of laminate. Okay, so yeah, you should be afraid they'll say you're gouging them when boards only last 1 to 3 weeks of use. All right? Trevor Steelman, thank you. Glad you're going to test quality with Life skateboards. I'm glad. And there's two qualities to Life skateboards. The first quality is the 24-hour pressed laminate, and the second one is we're looking 24/7 for failures anytime we find them. We take care of you. Whether it's through a discount or a replacement, we care about every skateboarder because there's nobody in between us and you. There's no retailer between us and you except Floyd. And there's no one in between us. Our reps are out there hawking and scoping for any problem with the laminate so we can make it right. That doesn't exist in the mainstream industry. That's worth so much more than the slightly higher price. And I'm going to go back. We got 8 more minutes.
Because any brand, if they really wanted to, could be like, well, you know what I sell you wholesale boards for? I'm going to put that online
Yeah.
at that cost. Like, if you really, like, any brand could do that.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest, Revive does that $38 boards all day long.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, you just called out Revive, $38 for the boards. You know why? Revive's boards, they're not a skateboard company. The product that Revive sells is media. The customer who buys it is Google Ads. It's not a skateboard company. It is not a skateboard company. It is a company that provides media to Google Ads. Their income comes from Google Ads. They can afford, with their YouTube money, to make 0 to nothing on a skateboard sale. They have zero skin in the game. So selling their boards at $38 is a perfect way to sell a garbage, mass factory made piece of pre-chewed gum that they're putting out as a skateboard brand. They don't touch production. They don't touch quality. They don't touch it. And they're 20 minutes from my house. And they aren't going to appreciate I said so. But now what does Heath do? Is he in charge of a board production warehouse? I think he sounds like he's in charge of Bareback.
And I don't agree with that. Like, it doesn't make sense for me to undercut these, like, partnerships I have with these shops.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what you do with a bad partnership. You sever it. All right? If you're an OEM, an original equipment manufacturing workshop, and you have a brand that is driving the price in the wrong direction, you cut them off. You make it known that anybody that doesn't do the right MSRP gets kicked out. Burton Snowboards, any shop that sells Burton at an undercut, Burton will cut off their account. Where did the business savvy go? Even now, there's mealy-mouthed fear of being accused of gouging. I went to Britain. It's 70 pounds for a Chinese-made Plan B piece of garbage skateboard there. I went to Germany. It was 100 euro for a Chinese-made mass-market pablum piece of laminate there. It's like 120 bucks for a branded deck over there, and everyone's happy. They'll mow a lawn and make some money and buy a skateboard. Okay, I almost got beat up twice. I almost got beat up, almost got run off the road by people who believe that charging a premium price is somehow a betrayal of skateboarding's core culture because kids can't afford it. First of all, kids can, all right? Second, I'm doing the opposite for this industry that undercutters do. It's the undercutters that ought to be receiving sanctioning, ought to be receiving censure. Nobody ought to be receiving violent death threats. Nobody. I got plenty. I got them in writing. I got them on court record, all right?
But there will become a time where it's like, dude, I'm like, every brand's going to have like a come to Jesus moment with it.
Yeah, that time was about 10 years ago.
Problem. Yeah. Like, because it's already, every manufacturer's starting to do the squeeze.
Yeah.
And like, I know we haven't raised our prices since that's happened.
Guarantee you, days after this, they'll change their pricing. This was the perfect opportunity for them to look like the good guys and the victims right before that they right price their material. 100%. I can tell you, man, being turned down by a major Ohio skate shop that has seen so much of my product go through so much that the wife of the owner turns to the owner and says, "Why aren't we carrying that guy?" Right? And then telling me, nice as can be, that we can't carry you because we don't want to have premium priced Ohio-made lumber on the wall. And me saying, it's okay, I can sell direct. My model is intact. Love, respect, everything. And then Andy Anderson's board hits. And it's $95 on the wall when I was going to go for $75. That's in Ohio. That's the kind of short-sighted, myopic, narrow-minded way that the skateboard retailers think. I'm openly critical of that. I'm putting no one on blast. I will never tell you what shop, and I love the guy who runs it. Love him. But his approach to the industry is myopic, short-sighted, blind, cut the nose off to spite the face. And it's also not cool, dude, that within Ohio, there wouldn't be, I mean, Skate and Annoy even did loyalty to fickle skateboards in Ohio thing. And on and on. I get heated. I get heated.
I'm very familiar with people at other companies, and we talk.
Yeah.
They're kind of in the same boat. I'm not going to say no names.
Right.
I'm just saying, like, at some point, something's going to have to happen because otherwise, like...
Here's what's going to happen. Brands like Life Skateboards, brands like Voluptuous, brands like Gluefoot are going to rise up, and we're going to offer a premium product at a premium price, giving skateboarders choices they never had. We're going to do it without the retail shop in between us and our customer. We're going to stoke people in person with reps in your city who can help you through the process. You'll be ordering boards, getting boards, and being taken care of for premium pricing because it's not only premium product, 24-hour pressed, long-cured laminate. hand-rolled glue. Not only is it that, but it's premium service. We're constantly looking for any quality issue so we can catch it, fix it, and do you right. That's what's going to happen, and it's happening entirely outside of this. This has been lost in the woods for decades. Lost in the woods. These guys, something's going to have to happen. Something's going to have to happen.
It's not the shops that are going to shut down. It's going to be the brands.
Yeah.
Because like, I can't afford this anymore.
It's crazy.
Like, I can't afford to pay you to ride for me anymore because I don't make any money on a skate. Brands that don't have the apparel play,
Yeah.
like, are going to have a really tough time.
Apparel. They're not skateboard brands. They're not skateboard companies. They're merch stores, hoping that by using a cheap garbage skateboard brand, they'll lure you into buying a hoodie, buying socks, buying a koozie, buying their barbecue set, all made in China, all garbage, all pure tripe, all of it. All garbage and tripe. And if you like it, good for you, you win. If you don't like it, we're making another option for you. These guys ought to be interviewing Sam Cooke. They ought to be interviewing me. I mean, that would get views at least. I mean, can you feel every piece of this lavish energy I'm throwing out here? Can you feel this? Deep breath. Here we go, a little more. My goodness, my goodness.
Yeah.
You know? And I don't want to see that happen.
No.
You know? Like, I like seeing, like, everyone, like, that's, like, can kill it.
There you go. Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
The ones that are smart are FA.
Oh yeah.
Their boards are $55,
Uh-huh.
but they introduced it at 55.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. They're the ones who are like, hey, this is what it costs.
Right.
If you want to be on board. And that's great. Like, it's great because it's like, it's smart. You know, like.
Did you hear me tell you the European value equation? Did you hear me talk to you about what a board really is worth and what it really takes to put it out there? Did you hear me talk about that at all? And FA is really smart for charging $55. My first skateboards in 1985 were $65. There's nothing smart about a $55 board sale. However, I will tell you this. Santa Cruz was Milwaukee pressed, gorgeous laminate goodness back then. Milwaukee pressed laminate goodness, man. And your Santa Cruz deck was worth every bit of the $121 that $55 was back then. $45 in 82. $45 in 1982 was $121. In 85, 3 years later, $130. And I was more than willing to pay it. I went to work, I worked hard, I bought boards. And they lasted until Vision. Vision was absolute garbage. I remember it, and I hated Vision skateboards. They were garbage. Oh man, I'm still angry today. Here we go. Back into these poor dear babes in the woods.
Because boards should be more than $55.
Right.
Boards should last more than 1 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, for the sake, and the shops would make more money. It would help them pay their rent.
Could you imagine a shop that was able to pay its rent and its employees based on what they sold? A skateboard shop that made its money on trucks, wheels, bearings, all that. I'd be happy to pay $300 for a setup if it was real quality and it was supporting the people who were there. I'd be happy to. I make money. I do jobs. I make money. I have a thing.
It helps brands pay their rent. It helps manufacturers pay their rent.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, honestly, like a $75, $80 board is still cheaper than putting your kid in Little League hockey.
Yeah. There you go.
Little League football. Right. It's so expensive to do that. Like,
that is an excellent point. You buy a Life skateboard. You want to do a custom wheelbase and a custom width. It's a $15 upcharge. So that takes you into about $9,500 range. You get the board, and we're haunting you to make sure that you love that board and make sure that board is good to you. We're haunting you. We care. There's nobody between you and us. And they last. It used to be Fickle and Life separate. Now it's Life. Fickle has come to Life. All right. Let's go back.
if you have a kid that's really good at soccer and they're on a travel team,
Yeah.
you're spending like a couple of
$3,000 a
month.
year.
Jeez.
$3,000 a
Like,
year for travel
easy.
team.
Yeah,
Easy.
get the
$5,000 a year.
No, my wife was on a travel team.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she's really good at soccer, and she was on a travel team.
Gosh, I have so little sympathy
throughout
for
her,
these
like,
guys.
You know, whole like teenage years.
This
And
face.
It was like, she's like, I don't know how much.
This face over here.
And yeah,
Crazy,
$80
man.
skateboard.
Yeah.
Like, that's cheap, mom and dad.
Yeah.
Like, do that for your kid because they're doing something like.
Yeah, buy an $80 skateboard, but buy one that lasts. Buy one that's made by people who are accountable to you. Who's accountable to you at Plan B? Who's accountable to you at Tom Yetto? Who's accountable to you? You know, who's grumble, 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 grumble.
They're doing something good for themselves.
There you go.
You know? I don't know. Like, I just wonder why no one talks about that.
I just wonder why these guys don't know who I am. I just don't get it. These guys don't know who I am. Is it because I don't hashtag well enough?
Definitely.
But
What do you think is
again,
gonna
it
happen?
might be a reason why, like, because if everyone hates what I'm saying, I'm sorry. Like, but there's this whole back end of like what's happening,
Yeah.
like, or what's gonna come to brands.
Mm-hmm.
You know. But I'll say this: like, the idea that China wood is bad that's false.
That's not false.
That was pretty good.
There's people over there that give a shit, and they're really trying to make a really good product.
And they're not succeeding. Oh, you know, maybe they are in regard to the lowest standards. You know, this is salesmanship.
Right.
You know.
When do you think, when one person does it, is like all the other brands going to start raising their prices?
And the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, and the labor practices, and the petroleum outlay on toting wood all the way from Canada, all the way to China, all the way from China back to California. I can't believe these guys are running a smokescreen for the CCP, the labor practices, and the petroleum outlay on that whole industry. It's so dark to me. Dark.
Do you think?
I don't know what's gonna happen. I just I'm trying to hold steady, so I don't have to do that to
Right.
our accounts.
Holding steady now, instead of thinking forward years and years ago, instead of looking honestly at diversifying the production base into United States-based laminates, looking into backing off of the heat transfer and diversifying your raising, oh my God, raising value, raising quality, raising prices. Okay, back. We'll do
You
this.
know? But like, you're only gonna be able to take so many price increases
Right. Right.
before I'm like, all right, well, we have to pay.
Are we just giving these boards away now?
Right,
Yeah.
right. Like, because like I said, the cost of goods is
Mm-hmm.
high. The royalty rate is, we pay a really
Raise the price then. What is up? Just raise the price.
good royalty rate to our guys. We're fair. Then paying all the employees
Oh, yeah.
in between.
Keeping the lights on, everything.
Right. Like, and I've had a couple of like conversations with people where they didn't understand that, and then as soon as I literally broke it down to almost a penny,
Wow.
and they were like, "We had no idea."
I think that statement right there, we had no idea. I think that is the central theme. I'm certain he's talking about skateboarders who've been in the game forever. I watched a skateboarder get a shape made for them, and they thought it was the most amazing, unattainable thing ever. And I'm like, what bothers me is that people insist that I respect things and people that I find not respectable. I will not respect what's not respectable. This entire conversation is 20 years late, and it's 30% of the conversation that really ought to be happening.
A lot of people know.
And so, like, where, like, when you look at what Jeremy Klein's doing with hookups, and you look at, like, even Mike V, the Street Plant, like, those dudes are on a grind.
He's talking about people who they think that being 100% independent is stacking the product that's made in another country in their own garage. Basically, all they've cut out is warehousing. and they ship themselves with a little love note in there. And this is what's considered to be the revolutionary edge of mainstream skateboarding. And I reject that. It is not revolutionary. It's not a change. They've done almost exactly zero in regard to this. Now, I know that there's an argument to be made for the respectability of their decision to go independent. And I am sympathetic to a lot of the different lobes of that argument. But in the mainstream thing, Life Skateboards is, I guess we're 137% independent. Now 37% more independent than your newest 100% independent company, because we don't just warehouse and ship our stuff. We roll glue, homies. We roll glue and we press. We long press 1 round a day. We built our presses. We have hard scrabbled together an amazing laminate operation that pays attention to our customers from start to finish. And we've been doing this for over a decade, by the way, and we're not unknown of. You know, we're not unheard of. But this is like a dying gasp of an industry that hopes that nobody will find out about what it really looks like to be independent. Thing is, nobody in Life Skateboards, nobody is going to make 800 grand this year. Nobody's going to make $1 million this year. Nobody's going to make $10 million. And that's what this California edge, some of these guys are fat cats and they're used to big fat checks. And those days are not our days. None of those days are our days. Make the switch.
They're doing it all themselves.
They're doing it all themselves.
Oh my gosh, they do it all themselves. They do it all themselves. What did they put the heat transfer on themselves? Maybe. Did they? Forget it, I'm out.
Like, that is no easy feat. Like, what those dudes are doing. Like, even, like, Jeremy's doing all the graphics, and, like, he's doing all
the graphics, drawing them in Paint or in on a sketch program, doing it all themselves. Unbelievable. Unacceptable, dude. It's dissimulation. This is dissimulative speech. They're deceiving you.
that stuff. I don't know Jeremy, but like that dude's hustling.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
oh, they're hustling, all right.
And it's enough. What's rad about that situation is he's doing enough for what he needs, and he's happy.
Yeah.
And he's like, he goes to bed at night knowing like, hey, cool, man, this is cool. You know, again, I don't know him personally, but just outside looking in, like, I'm obviously like a fan. Like,
He doesn't know this guy, but he's going to tell you what this guy thinks when he lays his head on his pillow at night. Unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable.
like Rubbish Heap. If you haven't never seen that part,
Yeah,
go on YouTube, look up Rubbish Heap, look at Jeremy Klein's part. It's awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. You do that, right? And you have no employees, and it's your life, and that's all you do, which is awesome because it takes so much dedication. Or if it grows to something bigger,
Yeah.
you know, like, you even look at like brands like Quasi, Polar, FA. Look at what.
Look at these brave people who draw something in a program and email it and a payment to a factory, who receive boxes filled with product and then sell them at prices B, C, and D. Look at the bravery of these people. I'm shaking because I think of Ben Butler. I think of Ben Butler's wood shop making amazing planks. I think of Frank Purcelli through American Waste and Lo-Fi, making one at a time, making amazing boards. And that is a revolution, and it's spreading. That's changing the game, really changing the game. Not just I do my own warehousing, I do my own art, I receive product and sell it at price B. These companies that are getting boards put on the porch and then shilling them out at price B, I got a major death threat court case situation with a brand owner who does that, who got really mad that I said this. Well, I'm still here, and I am absolutely certain that that is a robbery of our community. It's a robbery.
Josh is doing with theories and like all that stuff. Like, they have warehouses.
Yeah.
Not only that, he has a warehouse.
They have warehouses. Did you hear that, Sam Cooke? Did you hear that, Ben Butler? Did you hear that, Ty at Voluptuous? They have warehouses. Did you hear that? What? That's so brave. I'm crying for these guys. They have warehouses.
we're over in like New Jersey or New York where it's expensive.
Brooklyn, I think.
You know,
Their warehouses are expensive.
saying like it's not like this shit doesn't just like come out of nowhere.
It's heroic. It's so heroic. They draw a picture and then they send a file, and they have warehouses. This is brave.
Like, dude, it takes a lot of money, man. Like,
They use a lot of money, man. There's a lot of money for my warehouse.
even at like from like and at like you look at the deluxe is a monster, and I like and I'm like I don't know how you do it, Jim. Like that's gnarly, because it's just if you've ever been to deluxe, it's just a massive operation, and I think it's just a testament to Jim and his team and how like well they do everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
It just kills me. It just kills me. We got so many sacred cows in the room. I don't know whether to pick the cross-shaped street cleaner shotgun. I don't know whether to use the M60 or the just go 50 cal mounted on a Jeep on this one. Oh my gosh. Skateboarding. You're killing me with your sacred cows. These are no heroes.
But I don't know, man. Like it's going to be interesting over the next, I think, couple of years, 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the makers movement of people who are actually making quality skateboards and running them out there at a good premium quality at a right price, and who care about the skateboarder riding them directly. These are the brands that are combined with production, owning the means of production. They're able to back their brand in the community and actually serve something of dignified value for the rising prices that are coming. Oh, my friends, my friends, my friends, my friends.
And I don't want to see anybody go out of business. I don't want to see...
Too bad. People go out of business all the time. They go out of business all the time. And you know what? Their lives keep moving. This is not our life, these businesses. Sometimes you have to try, fall down, get up, try again. This is, I don't know what kind of Disney dream. People think that they deserve to have everything work because they follow their dream. Don't be so fragile and don't be so afraid of someone saying you're gouging them. But, these guys are vulnerable to being accused of gouging when you have to buy a board a week, or a board every 2 weeks, or a board every 3 weeks. Even a board every 6 weeks is no good. Now, cue all of the clonies who are going to come in here and say, oh, I got a board from Dwindle and it lasted me for 3 years. Nah, not even listening.
Any shops go out of business. I don't want to gouge customers either.
Right.
But something will have to give in the near future
For everybody.
for not because
Right.
it's going to be that one brand that you just fuck it. We're just going to go straight to consumer.
Life
Our boards
skateboards.
are $35.
Yeah.
We're going to go straight to consumer with something that's worth $100, and we're going to charge premium price for it, and it's going to be worth it to the consumer, to the customer, our community. We're going to right size value and price. We're going to serve. We're going to make a difference, and we'll never be on the 9 Club, and we are fine with that.
And then you just messed up the whole system.
Yeah. It's like
You know
a
what I'm
food
saying?
chain.
Irony, people who undercut have threatened me for overcutting. They've threatened me for right pricing and premium pricing and running a growing business doing so. I literally have a court case with a guy who's got a board on Deluxe today, where he threatened to murder me for embarrassing him. If you keep embarrassing me, I will come to your home and kill you. Public record. It drives me nuts to see these guys softball this major, major important lesson we all need to learn. Softballing it. Puff piece. Puff piece.
It's like
Right.
Yeah.
It's like different. Like I said, Revive. I think I don't know. They're $38. But again, it's much different if a brand like Deluxe all of a sudden turns on a $38 board.
No.
Is it different if a brand like Deluxe is selling boards in Dick's Sporting Goods? Because they are, and they have been for like 10 years. Is that different?
For sure. Because they are so big and so many shops, and shops do so well with them.
Yeah.
They do not. Shops do not do well with them. Shops are dying because shops are afraid to write price and make money on what they sell. They're hoping for shoe money from shoe companies who are raising their minimums and squeezing them out of the shoe game because they're not good shoe stores. They're not. They're not good shoe stores. They're good skateboard material stores that are lowballing themselves on skateboard hard goods and going out of business waiting for a check from a shoe company. You're killing me, Smalls.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a way different ball game when they do it.
Well, we'll see what happens, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you will see what happens. Because what happens is going to happen. What just drives me nuts about this is this Disney kid, I have a dream and I deserve success without doing something that's actually valuable. And I'm just listening to a bunch of Disney kids here. It drives me nuts. I'm sorry, yeah, just step over the dead sacred cow. It's okay. They're dead. They won't move. Would you like to use one as a sofa? That one's fresh. It hasn't begun to rot yet.
Interesting to see. I mean,
It's a real challenge. It's a real challenge.
Do you see the nonverbals here? Do you see the nonverbals? The high eyebrows, the open mouths. Do you see the passive, weak, fragile, emotional state of these people? This is touchy stuff because their rule number one is don't talk shit on the industry. And these guys are afraid of what's going to happen to them next for this. This is like as brave as it gets in mainstream skateboarding, my friends. This is as brave as it gets.
And like, I'm constantly working with like our sales team to like, hey, what's the balance here? Like, how do we do this? And how do we make it work? And like,
you raise your prices.
I even get to where it's like, all right, like I have, like I said, like my team is really good, and like even getting them to hammer down on color counts and how to do halftones to replace, like to bring that color count down and get the cost of the board down. So we're doing a lot of things on that side of thing just so we don't have to raise prices.
Yeah.
We have got, every one of us has 8 of our 10 fingers stuck in a hole in this dam, and don't you feel sad for us? You know, no. You need to take your fingers out, move your family out of the river valley, and start again somewhere, man. Get a better model. This is a bad business model. It provides crappy wood to customers who are losing the taste for buying a new board every 2 weeks. You've got shops undercutting you for $35, $38, $40 a plank. They're saying it's deluxe wood. Still being said all the time, this is deluxe wood, this is deluxe wood. All the time in the Midwest. Because Generator, the salespeople for Bareback, it's like it goes from Bareback to Generator. It goes from Generator to the skate shop. And the Generator salespeople have filled the skate shop's heads with, this is deluxe wood, this is deluxe wood, this is deluxe wood. In 2010, I went to Deluxe and I sat with Jim T. I said, you guys need to send better wood to the Midwest. Because our shop boards are on your wood. And I knew. And, you know, I can only imagine how little Deluxe likes hearing that their wood, it's not their wood, first of all. It's Generator's wood. Oh, it's not their wood either. It's Bareback's wood. This goes on and on and on and on and on. It's just so basic and so simple. But these guys with their eyebrows up and their mouths open are acting fragile and they're acting emotional and they're filling the air with words. Johnny Manak, you got good press in this one, Johnny. Yeah.
You know? Right. But again, at some point, like, there's only, like, when the manufacturer starts raising prices, to a certain point, something gives.
Yeah.
Are we babies? Are we babies that we don't understand inflation and we don't understand rising prices? Have we never bought milk? Have we never bought beef? Have we never bought a steak and seen the price go from $3 a pound to $9 a pound? Have we never bought a car that used to be, when I was a kid, $5,000 for a Chevy Chevette? Now the same similar car is 20 grand. You know? I mean, are we babies in skateboarding? Are we little baby men? Are we little baby children walking around? Oh, you're gouging me because you raised the price. I mean, what's going on? Why are these guys have to be so fragile and political about it? It's basic economics, man.
On the wood shop.
Yeah, maybe I want to put it in my garage.
Let's go back.
Only, like, when the manufacturer starts raising prices, to a certain point, something gives.
Yeah, on the wood shop.
Yeah.
You might want to own the wood shop. Here's the deal, Johnny Manak. Undercutters don't mess anything up when you're offering premium quality. when you're offering premium service. Premium quality, premium service, undercutters can't hurt you. Because undercutters come out shilling out garbage decks. And it's beautiful. I've got a local brand here that's big time. Was featured on ESPN2 and everything. It's backed by Deluxe. It's a big, big deal with big 90s roots. And the boards were snapping. Kids were like messaging in and they were like, yeah, I'll replace the board if you pull down the Instagram post. When we see a post of anything that looks like a failure, we hunt that person down and we say, hey, can we help you? And that person, we see it again and again, people buying board after board after board after board, not only because we offer premium quality, but we offer that premium service, that care for the skateboarder. And I'm telling you this, in a world of undercutters and shills and fashion companies that are ripping off the quality of skateboards and offering branding, YouTube companies who produce a product, which is media, for a customer who is Google Ads, right? And then they're able to offer you a $38 deck. There's no respect that needs to be given to that, but no hate either. It's a free market. Now, if I was a wood shop, I'd put an end to them. If I was an OEM, I would knock those people right off my list because I want skateboarding to prosper. Wood shops aren't that smart. They're not that smart. They haven't been about MSRPs. They haven't been about ethics. All right. This guy sounds like he's taking a pants down spanking.
Yeah, I want to put it in my garage. My garage isn't that big.
Oh my gosh, they ended it. They ended it with, it sounds like you want to own a wood shop. Well, guess what, friends? Johnny Manak owns a wood shop, and so does my homie. What's his name over there at Burning Spider? I'll tell you who else owns a wood shop is Ben Butler. I'll tell you who else owns a wood shop is Ty with Voluptuous. Let me tell you who else owns a wood shop is us here at Life Skateboards. We own 2 wood shops. We own my prototyping wood shop that's able to put out 50 units a month if I want to kick it up, and we own our 500 unit a month wood shop over in Muncie, 2 hours away from me. I go there like every week. And we're able to put out 500 units a month from there. But none of us are on that millions of dollars history of cash grabbing, ROI, heavy investor, money millions, garbage culture of greed that built our present mess of skateboarding. No quarter given to the YouTube companies that pretend they're skateboard companies. They're not. No quarter given to we don't know what's happening. We don't want anyone to call us gougers or say we're gouging. No quarter given to them. Huge quarter given to the daily skateboarder who just wants a good product, who wants good laminate or who needs a cheap product, and they don't good. If you're riding a skateboard, you are the winner. You win. That's all I'm saying about it. I hope these guys went out and rode skateboards after this. I hope their skateboards didn't crack and break like those do. All right, friends. I am going to stop this video and let the comments fly on the Facebook and the YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube after I post it up, go ahead, get spicy. Make it viral. Make this thing viral. I was the least friendly I can be in this, and no quarter. It'll go on my heavy industry critique. No soup for you. You don't want to pay $75 for a handcrafted deck that lasts longer and keeps its pop. No soup for you. I tell you, the value equation is ridiculous. It's ludicrous that people do get it. People get it, man. We've got a lot of customers. We're selling boards. This is growing, and we are stoked. But to see these guys on purpose neglecting looking at a 10-year movement of makers who are not well known. These guys have seen me sitting on my motorcycle holding court at the Tampa Pro. They know what's going on. I know they know who I am. I know they're learning who you are too. All right, podcast. Good idea. Scott George, way good idea. All right, friends. I was waiting for you to self-immolate, man. Almost, though. Ben Pravat out of Belgium. Ben, you're a gem. Thank you, guys. I'll be at you soon later. Stay spicy. Stay spicy.